Good afternoon and welcome to the Australian Ultimate Championships 2024. It's semi-final time and we've got a David and Goliath battle, a Cinderella story, whichever way you want to cut it. It's one of the tournament favourites. The Goliath is Ellipsis and the Cinderella David is Fishwick. I'm joined by Oakley Marlin. Oakley, Fishwick probably the surprise package out of the open side this tournament. What have you seen from them?
Yeah, so I said on the stream earlier, and it's been a little bit of a theme throughout this tournament, is this has been a tournament of unpredictability, and I think Fishwick have provided that unpredictability. We saw them take 2 Universe point wins on Friday against some big names. They got up on the Hoss Boys and up on one of the Sunder teams. They went down on Universe to Sublime early on Friday morning. Just here I see their team list. So as we saw them on the stream yesterday, we're going to expect big things from Shallard. We saw Blacklock's name coming up a lot. Hatfield, Sandbridge doing a lot of work, also with Captain Andrew Jackson. Yeah,
Sandbridge and Jackson, both their captains, both probably best on, supported by Shallard yesterday.
And we saw Fishwick on the stream yesterday. Interesting game against Mammoth. They were up early, lost it, and then came back. Ellipsis men, tell us what you know about them, Moz.
Yeah, so pretty deep list, but also a few injuries. So John McNaughton not in this game. Pete Ely will be out for the game as well. But in terms of people that are playing, obviously Tom, Rob Andrew, John O'Keefe. I would say Matt Daly's actually had a really good tournament as well. I didn't know much about Matt coming in, but he's been a really, almost like their third tall target. So, you got to get to McGuckin, you got to get to Rob, obviously. But Matt's taken a few good grabs and played some good D as well.
And I guess that's something that you want on your roster is you want a lot of depth where you have a lot of people that you can rely on. I can only imagine that Fishwick are going to try and shut down some key matchups to try and shut down, the likes of Rob Andrews deep, as we know that he's one that they like to hit. So it's really good that you can have another option stepping up into that role should he be shut down in that capacity.
And we will do our best to bring you scores from the other fields. The other semi has started and they've already made a call, which is good. Good sign.
The other semi being the boys of Hot Chili versus Sunder Slice.
But when you were about to say Hot Chili, I thought you were going to say Hoss, because that would be wrong. You would have been right at 10-4, but unfortunately for Heads of State, they bottled that one. Unfortunately for Chile, one of the all-time comebacks, one for the ages, they won their quarter when they were gone for all money, so definitely deserve to be there.
So yes, we'll try and bring you those updates from other fields as we can. We have some roving reporters around at the moment. Game setting up nicely. I think Fishwick are going to have the pull here.
And we're away.
Out the back of the end zone, Moz. Whoa.
We saw it a couple of times in the quarter. So I think teams used to a bit more breeze. But this one's just, we've seen a few sail right out the back. No real wind to speak of for the crew that keep asking me what's going on with the wind. Somewhat facetiously, I think.
Stark contrast to what we've seen over the past couple of days, however, with that wind.
Yep. So Ellipsis have dropped right back. A few people going under. Tom, filthy push pass to start the game to John O'Keefe. And we see the first big shot go up, and that's really easy. That's a nice early score.
1 point offense from the Ellipsis boys there.
Yeah, I think there was a bit of miscommunication in the backfield from Fishwick. I just gave you the wind report, Liam Haberfield. Only get one wind report every couple of minutes. Wait, 2 minutes. Yeah, pretty easy point. Not ideal from Fishwick if you're trying to set up a bit of pressure. No mark on the throw. Fair bit of separation on the deep. Probably want to take one of those two away, if not both, ideally.
Looks like a bit of a misread from the Fishwick defender there. John O'Keefe's putting up a massive backhand, but the Fishwick defender misread and ended up accidentally, or maybe purposefully, on the back foot of Rob Andrews, which when you're going up for an aerial contest, that's not the position you want to be in.
List of places you want to be. That ain't top of the list. All right, so let's just say that Fishwick were easing into it. We'll get a check now on their offense. Their offense needs to come out switched on, because if you go down a couple of breaks, it's very hard to get yourself back into it, unless you're Chile versus Hoss. You know what? I'll get over it. Sorry. Still cuts pretty deep. Not gonna lie.
Still a bit of a fresh wound, is it, Moz?
I took the next game off. I probably should have taken 2. As we see AJ with the disc, a lot of space in the middle of the field. Hatfield, his cutter fell, which is unfortunate. So it's stagnated a little bit. AJ gets out to the break side, gets it. 2 go deep, and AJ's seen enough to like it. Nice long grab, Jack Donnelly. Shellard gave him room, trusted Donnelly to get it. It was probably more Shellard's disc than Donnelly's, but they've moved it through. And the flick to AJ. AJ moving as well as he has in the last few years. He throws the flick wide, and that's a goal. Nice grab to make sure of it.
Not 100% sure who the receiver was there. I think try and get the number on his back.
It's Jack Donnelly.
Jack Donnelly doing some work on the offensive line there. Fishwick responding in kind. Anything you can do, Ellipsis, we can also do.
I'm getting absolutely flamed in the chat. People asking for wind reports and then asking for Hoss v Chile score updates. Those wounds are still very fresh, team, so I don't want to have to block and ban you and report you out of the YouTube feed, but I will. Actually, I don't even know if I've got the rights to, but anyway.
You don't have admin rights there, Moz.
No, you shouldn't give someone like me that kind of power that I absolutely abuse.
We appreciate the banter on the chat.
Yes, keep it coming. Keep it coming. Already 190 watching. I think we topped out yesterday and today at about 350 for the final pool game featuring Ellipsis as well as this morning's quarter.
Well, let's continue to build on that.
On serve, 1 apiece. No wind to speak of. Absolutely nothing. Bone still.
Which is perfect conditions for ultimate. Very, very different to what we saw on Friday with the torrential rain that was coming through.
And even yesterday to an extent. Yes, not a cloud in the sky.
Oh, massive pull. John O'Keys to Cupcake.
Better start from Fishwick on the defensive intensity.
Little dishy dump back to Jono. Max Holden coming to you around, but there's McGuckin.
Inside.
Cupcake going down the line, working hard, but he gets the dump back to Keys. Loses a bit of ground, but he's okay with that. Daly on the far sideline. No mark, can throw what he wants right now. Holden. There's Keys again, open side dump, surveying the field, hammers up, got McGuckin underneath it.
Good bid from Blacklock, went early, knew he needed to. And whilst I'd say that's a better point from Fishwick in terms of a bit of the defensive intensity, if I'm Ellipsis, I'm pretty chilled. Working it up to the brick mark. I know that was a break hammer into the end zone, but even prior to that, the connections were coming pretty easy.
Some pretty easy offense, as you said there, Moz, and they looked comfortable. They didn't look like they were stressed. They were, the stall count never got to a point where they looked like they were panicking at all.
No.
So both teams just settling in, trying to find their groove, and you always see this happening the first few points in a game. Teams trying to figure out what each other are going to do, what they're expecting to see, especially when the conditions have changed so vastly.
So Oakley, what game was on immediately prior to this one? Because all I can see, I look in the sideline, all I can see are about 13 identical pink water bottles, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me when you're trying to find your water bottle and it's just in the sea of water bottles.
So just prior to this, we had Rogue versus Factory Flash, and it was an absolute nail-biter going down to a universe point where Rogue came out with the win. Fumble there from Fishwick, but they managed to get the disc moving. So on this close sideline, centers back to Jackson.
Tullett's playing really good match D in the middle here.
Oh! McGuckin trying to get the D on McGuckin, hard work up there. He's going to get big. Too floaty from Jackson.
And it moved away from Charlotte. The curl actually needed to be outside in. That had probably more inside out on it. Yeah, it didn't give Charlotte a look.
Cupcake here, bringing the disc in right at half of the field. Copland working hard on the dump, gets the dump backhand. Cupcake gets it right back again. Close there.
Spartos.
On the far sideline, McGuckin to Andrews. Argy-bargy on the dump there with Cupcake and Svardos.
Yeah, well, Cupcake was giving it back the other way, so I reckon that's fair play. Both players are staying within the limit.
Nice round backhand to Lochnan.
They've got to stop these breaks. There's another one.
Another break. Goes up. Oh, just toes it in. Andrews with the kick celebration.
It's really established a place in our game, the kick spike. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's kind of the football/rugby background that we've got, but the kick spike, and I'm here for it. I know not everyone's big about spiking, and you definitely don't want to, rim spike it, because then you taco the disc, and that's just a bit of a tool move. But I don't mind the old kick spike.
As long as it's done in celebration and fair play.
Don't kick it at someone, but yeah.
I'm all for it. I'd love to see again, though, Moz, the Sandbridge celebration.
Oh yeah, the guy that pulls the party.
How he does the little flicky thing up into his hand. Love to see that again. Love to get it on the cam if we can.
Yeah. Well, we just need him to score a goal.
So Ellipsis hold on that one.
So Fraser Wigney, I think, on the field, team favourite. Also a team favourite with the Mudlarks, I believe. An affinity between Fraser and the Div II four-time national champions. Coming fresh off their last championship last weekend.
Some good stats there, Moz.
Thank you. I'll absolutely take it. All right. Ellipsis, they brought that's semi-final level intensity on the defence, and we probably haven't seen that yet out of Fishwick. That's the difference so far.
That absolutely is semi-final level defence.
Early days.
Jackson. Tight marks here from the Ellipsis boys. Shallard. Young there. Goes the beautiful inside to Jackson. Getting big. Is Jack Donnelly. Jackson on the far sideline being marked by Andrews. So it's Farnas in the dump space, but he throws it up. He's got
Hatfield. Good boy, Mikey.
Good job there from the Fishwick boys. They used the field and the space wisely.
Yeah, I mean, I was having a chat to AJ before the game, and I said, how are you going to jag this? And he said his view, correct or not, was that Ellipsis are going to be running some pretty short lines. So he was more thinking about the entire game, more of attrition stuff. If he can get their key players like Keys, like Andrews, like Cupcake, get them tired, so that in those last few points of the game, that's where maybe the fatigue and the mistakes come out, because Fishwick do have a slightly deeper roster. Hopefully they just maintain enough proximity that they themselves don't have to shorten lines.
And just some scores coming in from other fields. We have an update that it's 2 apiece between Manly and Sunderdice, and also 2 apiece between the Hoss boys in Melbourne Juggernaut and Sublime. Some close games happening on the other fields, and we'll continue to keep you updated as it unfolds. And as we say that, it's also a close game here. Ellipsis up 3-2.
Just one break so far.
Which absolutely means nothing at this early point in the game, Moz. Because as we've seen previously, Fishwick can certainly bring this back, and they have done it before. Multiple universe point games throughout the tournament so far. Cupcake picking it up, centering to Keys. Finds Helden, he's trying to move it quickly. Keys. Goes for the cheeky inside but doesn't put it. Helden again. Loses a bit of ground to go back to Keys, and Helden goes back for the dump in the centre of the field. Cupcake trying to get free, and he does. His dump is now setting in. Oh, beautiful around flick there to Daly. Inside backhand. Disc is there with McGuckin. Oh, he goes inside backhand to Keys. Absolute worm burner. Scuba over the top there to Bill Foreman.
There's something for everyone there. That's better. They didn't get the turn. They obviously didn't break, but that's better. That's getting towards that defensive intensity. A couple of bids, forced out a couple of not 100% throws. So, yeah, like you said, we're early into this game. Fishwick it's just one break. Keep your heads up.
That's exactly right, and one break is definitely something you can come back from. We've seen so far, though, 3 assists from John O'Keefe out of the 4 goals that the Ellipsis men have scored.
Yeah.
He's absolutely working hard for the Ellipsis offense.
So for those asking, yes, the Chile and Sunder game is going on at the moment on the other field. We will be bringing you those updates as they come through.
Nothing received thus far, unfortunately, but as soon as we have something, we'll let you know. Ellipsis boys coming out on defense.
We don't have a score, but we know Sunder are up 1 break.
Thank you for that intel, Moz. We'll try and get a score as soon as we can. Hurler of a pull well into the end zone there. Jackson in the centre of the field. Oh, he looked like he was going to wind up for something, but instead he goes back. Oh! Overthrow, miscommunication, and Copland gets on his guts for it.
Yeah, well, he moved Svardos out of the way. He didn't bump him deliberately, but Svardos wanted to go one way. The throw went the other. So he kind of had nowhere to go. He's going to catch the goal. Oh, no. Oh, no. Jake Kluken, absolutely there, did everything hard and then kind of just swatted his hand past it. Instead, Copland now has double happiness. And Ellipsis jump out to a 5-2 lead.
And that's so unfortunate there for Dane Kluken, especially when you're the defender, Moz, and you just tip it or you just, dink the disc.
Yeah, he just
and almost make it easier for the offense to catch.
Well, the first thing is he recognised the play. Then he was able to do something about it. Then he was able to avoid contact. So you've got to think about the amount of this checklist you've got to go through because you don't want to clean up the receiver because they've got absolutely no idea where you are. You've got the duty of care in that scenario. And then he just missed the D.
That's right. And so I think there's been a timeout call from Fishwick, which is unsurprising here, Moz. You heard some insights into the Fishwick timeouts and circles the other day on the other stream, and you expressed that there was a bit of colourful language.
Oh yeah, they're not afraid to wear their hearts on their sleeves. I wouldn't say they're orators of our time. I don't think they're not bashing down the door of Mensa with some of the language, but anyway. No, they're passionate. Oh yeah. I don't need to be over there. I can hear it from here this time. And hopefully, so long as our mics don't pick it up, apologies if you do hear something. But it's a lot of aggressive positivity. Probably the best way to explain that. 5-2.
Not the place you want to be in a semi-final, Moz.
Yeah, well, Link's already written them off in the chat. 5-2, he thinks that's done. I wish that was the case about 3 hours ago.
We love your enthusiasm, Link. We absolutely love it.
I'll clip that, just screenshot that for posterity.
See Mish Phillips as well, donning her Fishwick jersey, getting involved in their chats.
Mish is?
Mish is on the far sideline here, just to our left behind Woodley. See her on the screen here. She's in her Fishwick jersey. She played with them at Nationals a year or 2 ago.
Never knew that, right. Can get around on a few teams, Mish.
She does, and you know what? I'm about it.
I'm more a one club kind of player.
I wonder who that is.
Yeah, well, mainly because none of the other ones will take me, so I don't really have a choice. Make my bed, I'll sleep in it. That's fine. If you know how many, we'll have a little trivia quiz. How many teams has Mish Phillips played for? Bonus points if you name the international ones as well, because I think she's been around. The Colombian teams and the Japanese teams.
Big, interesting piece of knowledge to know. As that pull rolls out the back of the end zone, so we're going to see Andrew Jackson walk it to the front line of the end zone. The thing with those pulls, I guess it works the defense's advantage, is that they get to set up before the disc is checked in, that the offense doesn't get that movement, but it doesn't seem to matter for Jack Donnelly as he gets a nice gainer on the under. Gets the dump back to Jackson. Sandbridge, with a little jink there, gets a nice inside.
That's a good cut.
Alex Young on the far sideline. He's looking to dump it back pretty quickly though. Oh! And just an underthrow slightly on the inside there. Tried to thread the inside to Jackson, but John O'Kee's read it like a book.
I was saying this on the last Ellipsis game. Jono just got such great balance, not only when he's throwing, but defensively as well. Able to get horizontal. And we might see another one. Had to give up a lot of ground to Copland, but he recovers it to Bill Foreman. Bang.
And he puts it.
That's a goal.
Called it Oz.
High disc going to Rob Andrew. You can, I reckon 99 times out of 100 you can call that. So Goliath certainly taking it, sticking it to David so far. It's a biblical reference.
For anyone who wasn't aware.
Yeah.
Only 20 minutes in and Ellipsis are up 6-2.
They're quick points, yeah.
They're very quick points and they've really pulled away so far. As we've headed into finals, we've had the game times change up slightly. So we're now playing 100-minute games, which at this point in time doesn't seem to matter. It doesn't look like we're going to need that extra time so far unless the defense absolutely starts to change.
So how's this for symmetry? Sunder leading Chile 5-2 in the other game. So up until very recently, identical scores.
So we'll continue to bring you those updates. And if we get any updates on what's happening on any other fields, we'll let you know what's happening. But so far, we're seeing the Ellipsis men start to run away with it. They're really stamping dominance, and their defense is shutting down a lot of the Fishwick options. A lot of big bids and plays so far, and a lot of people getting on their guts. They're really, really wanting it. They're hungry for the disc. Another big pull. Sandbridge quickly moves it to Jackson. And Andrew Jackson jacks it.
Good cut.
Shallard.
That's a goal.
Making quick work of that one.
That's not bad. That'll keep them in touch.
And that's what they needed. Fishwick needed that, needed to get their intensity back up, get their spirits high, try and bring those good vibes back. Here's the replay. Sandbridge moves it quickly to Jackson. John O'Kee's came in for the slightly on the mark, but took Sandbridge instead, which opened up Jackson with no mark, so he could throw absolutely whatever he wanted. So Ellipsis are up 2 breaks now. Up 3 breaks now. And Fishwick have just held. We'll continue to bring you stats throughout the game as we can. We've got Avril Tam on stats here so far, doing a wonderful job for us. Here we see that big one deep from Rob Andrews. Fishwick coming out on defense. Ellipsis boys absolutely ready. Streaming towards half.
In the placing games for the unsuccessful quarter-final teams, Manly and Dice are trading 2 apiece, as are Juggernaut and Sublime 2 apiece. Guck's gone.
Daly on the far sideline. He's looking for an inside. Oh, overthrows McGuckin though.
All right. So this is going to be our first time, I think, seeing Fishwick's defensive O-line.
And expecting to see big things from them because they need to. They need to absolutely... Oh!
That'll hang up.
Almost overthrows Sandbridge, but he gets on his guts.
And throws a nice composed throw. That's sometimes harder.
Sandbridge is going for the jinky up the line, but he overlooks, finds Wigney. And he gets it just bumbled out of like the inside of his hand there, and it just went shooting up and he couldn't regain composure.
YC marking to it. I want to stop that wide one. Yeah, that just lets all the pressure off and allows Ellipsis' offense to set up. Daly got it wide. Gives a little bit of shake and bake.
Oh.
Big bid, but it's safe. Foreman moves it to Keys. Keys gets a bit of attention on the mark, plays through it, throws a safe one back to McGuckin. McGuckin back to Keys, from where it came from, and again, Keys' second score, his second scuba. He's finding it easy out there.
Couple of cheeky scoops in this game, and does that indicate to you, Moz, just how comfortable the Ellipsis boys are feeling out there on the field?
Yeah, they're playing with freedom. They're not taking the mickey, but they're certainly just, throwing the throws that'll score the goals.
Creative license, if you would.
Yes.
So as we see the replay there, dump to McGuckin, go straight back to Keys, cheeky scoop over, and there's the score. So Ellipsis knocking on the door of half-time here, and not a lot of time has passed.
No, they've been quick points,
They've
both
been
ways.
very quick points, and we're nearly at half-time. This could be a very quick semi-final.
Yeah, and I think you're seeing a pretty animated, we'll get a shot of him soon, we're seeing a pretty animated Andrew Jackson having a chat to David McInnes, is that his last name?
Yeah, John O'Keys here, 4 assists and 1 block so far in this game. He's absolutely dominating the O-line, or the offensive points here for Ellipsis. Another timeout called.
Yeah,
Not surprising.
Well, yeah, exactly. I think to your point, the game's just flying by, which is great if you're Ellipsis, but if you're Fishwick, you go, well, hold on, this is just going to slip away from us before we know it. So let's slow it down, try and put some different plans together.
When we look back to Fishwick's pool play, they had 4 universe point games.
Yes.
High-scoring universe point games. What do you think, Moz, is the impact of that now in the latter parts of the tournament?
Well, it's a good question. They've got numbers. So if this was 2010 IBEM, right, where you got 14 blokes, they'd be knackered. They wouldn't have anything left in the tank. Because they do have a big squad, and I believe that they play through majority of their squad, I actually think you use that as a positive. I think the belief and the kind of mental grit you get from it outweighs the fatigue. Exception might be if you're someone like an AJ who was probably on for the majority of those points, but based off what we've seen this morning, like, he doesn't look like he's struggling, so.
That's exactly right. He does not look like he's struggling at all. Fishwick just need to continue to lift that intensity and match that of the Ellipsis boys, the Ellipsis men out there.
Sunder are starting to put a hurting on Chile here, 7-2.
Thank you for that update there, Moz. We'll be keeping that one coming. So I know multiple people are interested in hearing the outcome of that game, so we know what's happening tomorrow. Floaty pull comes down, quick one to AJ. Big mark from Cupcake, really taking away the options down the field. Finds Svardos. Oh, Shallard absolutely puts it up, but I think it's gone. It's gone over in the field yonder.
Yeah. So that was actually Hatfield to Shallard.
Oh, Hatfield, sorry.
No, well, Shallard was his target, and he had a lot of separation. We'll see him coming to shot here. He's got a good almost 10 metres on his player. All that needed to do was stay in, but it didn't.
And that's not the first time we've seen the disc go in the wrong direction, where it's just spun out of field, floated the wrong way on those up the line or down the line options. So Ellipsis gaining a fair bit of ground as Cupcake brings that one forward.
Some questions about the ground conditions. We'll be looking at a 2. Good firm track, some grass coverage. Definitely not a heavy track.
Oh!
Big bid.
Bill Foreman
AJ.
now floats it out for Cupcake on this close sideline, and he winds up.
Come down,
He's got Andrews deep and straight in the breadbasket. Wasn't a lot of pressure on that catch there.
No, well, I think the players misread it. Both of the Fishwick defenders, I think they went in under to go early, but they didn't realise how much it was turning. Great shot from Tullett as well, because AJ was horizontal. He faked out wide. AJ bid on the mark, so Tom knew he had to release it at full stretch. And just like that, we're at 8-3.
So see it on the replay there. That's exactly right.
And then you see, I think it's McGuckin at the back.
Oh, it's McGuckin at the back,
Yeah.
yes.
No, yeah, you're right. No one really made a bid. I think they kind of looked at each other and thought, well, I thought you were going to go. It's a semi-final, lads. You both go.
You both
and if
go,
you hit each
exactly.
other, okay, good. The other thing about Ellipsis, though, is just how they use so much of the field, upfield, backfield, laterally. Like, that was pretty much sideline to sideline. As we see, McGuckin's putting up some stats of his own. 2 goals, 2 assists and 1 block. He'll screenshot that and send it to his family.
It's only half an hour into this game and we've already hit half time.
With a couple of timeouts.
With a couple of timeouts already. Ellipsis are making really quick work of this. Really quick work. You can see them really just having, really relaxed half time. There's not a lot of chat happening.
No, they're just some real comedians on the feed today, that's all.
Are they? Are you copping it still, Moz?
Yeah, but at least this one there's a little bit of intelligence behind this one for a change. Lippy in danger of getting a 10-4 lead.
Oh.
Of course, the lead that a team that shall remain nameless piddled away.
We appreciate the banter. Keep it coming.
Oh,
keep the
it.
comments
We like it.
coming
We
through.
like it.
We do enjoy it.
Everyone deals with grief in a different way. I use humour. No, do not.
And as we speak of keeping it coming through, the Ellipsis boys are going to look to keep that pedal to the metal, Moz.
Yeah, I mean, they've got everything on their own terms here. I think it's a bit jarring just how quickly the points have gone. And look, Fishwick have been contributing to that. They've had a couple of 3-pass offences. But it's their defence. They've got to at least, and that's what AJ said at the start, you've got to at least keep their O out on the field. Get them tight. That's your only chance. Otherwise, you're going to blink and this final will be over. I mean, I'll still send the invoice for my time anyway. I don't care. I'll go home early. But I think everyone, including myself, would rather see a bit of a tighter battle.
And we've seen a lot of tight battles on this field so far, Moz. We haven't had many games. Well, we have had games where it's looked like it's going to happen, going to go over quite quickly, and then it always seems to claw back. And we saw that with the Mammoth Fishwick game, where Fishwick was up.
Yep.
Mammoth came back, and then Fishwick got up on Universe. So we know that Fishwick are capable of doing some big things and bringing those scorelines back.
Yeah, and that's the point I was trying to make earlier, to go, hey, we've been here. Not necessarily down, because they were up early, but you don't go through 4 Universe point games with facing, having some pretty tough questions asked of you. So I wouldn't be treating themselves as out of it. It'd be nice to have a couple more, and there's some really expert coaching coming through. Someone should tell Fishwick they have to score more points if they want to win. I'll pass that on. I'm not sure which Fishwick player I'll pass that on to. One that's smaller than me, I reckon.
Wasn't sure that was how the game worked, was,
Yeah.
If only we could all figure that out.
I've got a certain team that I wouldn't mind telling, but anyway. Let it go. Let it go.
The hurt still coming through there.
It's real. I was impartial during the call, so I can be partial now.
And that's completely fine. So this half time is going to be coming to an end now. We see Ellipsis getting back out on the field.
Avril, do you have any stats you want to talk through?
Going to be bringing on Avril Tam here, talking through a few stats for us.
Yeah, so as we saw on the early infographics, John O'Keefe for Ellipsis absolutely lighting it up with 4 assists and 1 massive layout block. Sam McGuckin also doing his bit. He's had 2 scores, 1 assist and also 1 block. Tim Copland with the other big block for Ellipsis. So the big boys getting it done.
Thank you for that, Avril. So we see it here on the screen. 3 clean holds apiece. A few break chances for both teams. Fishwick have not taken any of their 4 break chances, but Ellipsis have done 4 of their 7 break chances, and that's how we see the scoreline that we do.
I think that's most of the story. You know, like, okay, your O's been scored on, but 0 from 4 break chance. I didn't actually think it was that that intense. That's really surprising. Can I get in on some of that Coke when you crack it? Not right now.
Just go.
I didn't want it until I know you asked me, but then you see it. And,
it's a can of Coke for anyone wandering online. Thank you, Katie Locke, for bringing that one to me. So both teams here in their huddles, probably lots of different things being said though from both teams. I can imagine the advice coming from Ash Sullivan, Ellipsis men's coach, is to keep the pressure down, keep that defensive pressure and getting those big blocks.
I'm not sure if this has happened before, but Ash Sullivan just took Ellipsis to a Div 2 title 7 days ago as a coach.
Geelong?
Yeah, sorry, what did I say? Ellipsis.
You said Ellipsis at Geelong?
The Mudlarks.
Yep.
Would he be the first coach to win back-to-back Div 2, Div 1 titles? That's a nice little flex. I'll be putting that on the CV.
If anyone knows if it's been done before, please pop it in the comments and tell us if you know of any coaches and flex their name and we'll give them a shout out. So I think Ellipsis come out on D here, Moz.
It's the one thing I need to get better at is
What's
remembering who starts on O. Well, actually I need to get better at a lot of things, but to be honest, one thing at a time.
So yes, Ellipsis men coming out on defense. Avril here confirming because she's been keeping the stats
Avril's
for us.
got it together. Thank you, Avril.
Are Fishwick going to keep the clean hold?
No.
Oh. Well, we're going to welcome in John McNaughton. John, not playing this weekend, but come up to support the team. You must be happy with seeing a pretty uneventful first half in a good way.
Look, it's always ideal to see your team doing extremely well. 8-3 is a good place to be.
It's also a very early 8-3. I think by the time we hit half, the game's only been going half an hour.
Yep.
So nice quick points. Did you know any of what the plan for the second half is?
Look, when you're up 8-3, the plan's probably keep doing the same thing you're doing, but better.
Very good.
Defensive energy, sideline intensity, nothing particularly special at this point. We're not going to make many changes when we're going well.
Well done. Well, good luck. But we are, from an entertainer's point of view, we hope it gets a little closer.
No doubt.
Thanks, mate.
So Jackson here with the disc on his close sideline, throws a big floaty backhand. Oh, Sandbridge just couldn't quite get underneath that.
That was a tough one.
It was a tough one, and Ellipsis get it, within a quarter of the field to their end zone. Stall 9, Hail Mary, as we just heard.
That'll do it.
As Loughlin's bringing it in, he looks for an immediate dump to Copland, but he's covered quite... Oh! That was a great bidding D there from Jack Donnelly. And Andrew Jackson puts it up. He's got Alex Young, who eats that up. Oh, is he? Oh.
He's got it. Go.
Spartos.
AJ is going mental. He went mental on the field because everyone stopped because of the contact. They thought was it going to be a foul call. AJ with the veteran move saying, there is no foul, I'm running to this disc. And then he absolutely fed it to his downfield defender saying, you go. Then he threw. And then so watch this, AJ. basically scaring his teammate into cutting. Nice chase.
Nothing that Lochnan could do about that.
No.
And that bid, it was a shoulder height bid from Jack Donnelly on Tim Copland there.
Nice little bit of feedback for your teammate there, just to cut, gentle encouragement to cut, AJ. Yep, it was noted.
So just getting some more stats here of the 4 points on the board for Fishwick. Jackson has thrown 3 of them.
Yeah, he's definitely come to play. Yeah, I mean, I would have said this pre-game. It's probably no more profound now, but Fishwick don't win if AJ doesn't play well. You know, that's just a given. He's their best. Yeah, you'd say their best player on the roster. He needs to have a blinder for them to be any chance. Across on the other field, Sunder starting to put some pain on Chile. It's 8-2 at half.
And so we've got Haldon here in this close sideline. Cupcake there going back to Max Haldon. The Fishwick. Whoa, there's a bit of bargee there between Keys in the centre of the field. Haldon getting every second disc at the moment. There we go, back to Cupcake. Back to Haldon. A little bit of give-go action.
He's very good at that, Max.
Oh! Tom Toole looked like he was falling over and still somehow
he was already
managed
down.
to catch the disc from his knee.
He was already on the ground. Just stuck the juke up.
A little bit of disbelief there. Get that one on the replay if we can. And just as we see it here, some give goes between Toolett and Haldon. Toolett and Haldon going the whole way down the field. And he comes again, trips over the Fishwick defender's foot and catches it almost from the ground.
He's not happy about it. And the reason he's not, Tom likes one thing more than scoring. It's looking good.
Looking good.
That doesn't look good. You just kind of look like you got put on skates a bit. I mean, it's a great grab, but yeah, he wasn't happy about it because he'd much rather be gratuitously laying out than kind of scrambling on all fours.
Tripping over. So we just have some more stats coming in now. Oh, yeah, stats on Tom Toolett. 1 goal, 1 assist. Has been a little bit quiet this game so far.
But, yeah, hey, if you don't need to, if you don't do it. As he walks past the commentary booth. That was Oakley saying you were quiet, not me. Cheeky
so some stats coming in from the other fields. We have Dice up 7 on Manly 6 and Juggernaut and Sublime at 5 apiece. Thank you for those roving stats there, Simon Talbot. We appreciate the work that you're putting in for us. Getting the inside scoop.
They're the hardest games to play, those ones. You've dropped a quarter. You're not even playing for a medal.
You're playing for the finals.
And at least in the finals, you're kind of in the beer, what used to be called the beer bracket.
The beer bracket, yeah.
Your weekend's done. You can go and have some fun. But it's a tough slog, those games. As we see AJ taking it. Nice early gainer cut, and then AJ up the line.
Oh.
He's got...
had Shallard streaming.
Yeah. That's a great throw from AJ.
Svardos there. He's got no one in the deep space, though, so he dumps it back to Jackson. Was looking for Hatford on the around, but did not go for that either. A lot of jinky movement in that handler space, and he goes up. Finds the up there to Alex Young, and he gets it in to Dane Kluken.
That'll do. 9-5.
Clean hold for Fishwick, and they do need to have some more clean offensive holds, because if they get turnovers, the Ellipsis boys are not giving it back.
Yeah, and that makes me think, how long until AJ needs to start playing both sides of the disc, coming on for OND as well, because there's only 6 more points that Ellipsis needs. So if I was the coach, I'd be putting AJ on at both ends.
But the question here, Moz, is if you do that and Fishwick get the win, you risk burnout. Is it, going into going into a final tomorrow and that's your last game and it's your only option, you sometimes have to take it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if you'd ask AJ, hey, do you want to have a good crack at a final being absolutely gassed or be nice and fresh for the bronze medal match, you'll probably take the former. But AJ has a bit of an ego, so
you're not wrong there. You'd rather the clean gold than the dirty gold. So Fishwick have clawed back a couple, are doing a nice job. That is a monster pull. Cupcake fielding nicely. Centres quickly to John O'Keefe. Max Haldon trying to get involved. A bit of a junky look here from the Fishwick boys. A bit of a poachy junky look. Swan with the disc goes back to Cupcake. They're losing ground into the end zone. Over to McGuckin. Very blady forehand. Dishy to Swan through to Keys. Looking to move it quickly. Back over to Toolett. That junky sets in, that junky zone.
I don't mind it. It's worth a look. Like, you've got to change something. And if at least, like we were saying before, slow the points down.
That's exactly right. And it has happened as we see that they have had to lose some ground on these dumps as Keys come. Oh, beautiful insight to Haldon. McGuckin there had someone on his heels. Haldon again. Tries to tow it in.
It's not the elegant corner, that one, is it?
From Andrews. He dumps it back to Toolett. Happy to lose a bit of ground. Andrews doing some jinky movement, and Toolett. Second goal for the game.
Moves it to 10-5.
Scoreline starting to blow out here now, Moz.
Yeah, I think you start putting AJ both sides of the disc. Did I mention that one? No.
You have a few times, actually, but that's all right.
Well, it's not getting through to them, so...
Moz knows best. He's continuing to provide his insights.
Only coached multiple Australian teams and campaigns. Picked up a bronze medal at Worlds, no big deal.
Does know what he's talking about.
I wouldn't go that far.
Only sometimes.
Just reeling off. There were assistant coaching roles, right? So my opinion was given, not always taken. Rarely taken.
So Rob Andrews here, 3 goals and 2 assists. He's putting the work in for this Ellipsis side. And we are seeing...
Is he 3 and 2?
He's,
that's half
3
goals. Right.
Exactly. And, we've seen some big things as well from, John O'Keefe.
Yeah.
We've got the same names kind of coming over and over again. So Rob Andrews and John O'Keefe kind of dominating the assists here.
We have a tennis ball on the field. Who is this? Crank have filed a protest on the field via tennis ball.
There's a little bit of interference, but we've sorted it out.
What are you doing? Who brings a tennis ball to a Frisbee tournament?
It depends if you've got your doggos on the sideline there, Moz.
AJ.
Winding up for something.
AJ on his bike.
Oh, slight overthrow. Oh.
There'll be a strip ball. No, he's out.
Looked like there was going to be a call there from Hatfield, but I think it was a clean D from Lou.
Yeah. I don't blame Mikey. I know why he called it, because there was contact, but I think he realised that the Ellipsis player got to it first, so good withdrawal.
Oh!
Hello. Great
D there from Andrew Catchpole. Just a little bit too much float on that dump, and he was able to get a hand in front of Tim Copland. There has been a trip in the centre of the field before the disc even came into play.
Yeah. AJ just about went to pick it up, saw the trip and went,
no, I'll let it sit there for a second.
I don't want to, just make this clear.
Keep the stall count at 0.
I mean, let's just have it all on their terms right now, but the one adjustment you'd want to make, AJ is throwing, and as soon as he throws, he's off again. This one he won't,
there
though.
He is.
Oh. That's a bit of phantom D action from both the Ellipsis players. Knew they couldn't get it, but got their bodies in the way. Tried to distract from the eye line of the receiver.
So we see that there on the replay. Came down very blady. And I think there was maybe just a hand to it from one of the boys. I'm not 100% sure who. But Loughton's bringing it forward. Moving to the far sideline. Oh, Loughton.
See what I mean? See how far those, that's a dump and a swing. As we see another turn. AJ sprinting to the disc.
Donnelly with the run through D there.
Good cut from Hatfield up the line. Brave cut. And another goal. AJ ain't going anywhere, he believes.
So Hatfield to Young there.
Every goal, and it's mostly AJ throwing them, after every goal, AJ is looking over at his sideline. He's fist pumping. He knows he's one of the spiritual leaders of this team, and the leaders. He knows that he needs to keep their energy up and about. He needs to keep their belief up and about. 10-6, not close, not insurmountable. But
look, they can certainly come back from this.
A couple of breaks changes everything.
A couple of breaks does change everything, and it's interesting to
score.
see how much one break can change the mood and the vibe of a team. Yeah. If Fishwick can break back once, I think that their intensity will lift dramatically.
Yeah.
So here we are, Mikey Hatfield, 1 goal, 1 assist and 1 turn, which is some pretty good stats to be sporting right now.
Look, for Fishwick.
For Fishwick.
Yeah, he's got been involved in a third of their goals.
So a slightly slower half, less points being scored in this half than in the same amount of time that's passed.
Take the little wins. That needed to be an adjustment from Fishwick. They haven't put that one out the back again, have they?
Oh, I think it landed in field and then scooched out the back. So we're going to see it brought forward. And as we do, just another update. Sublime are up on Jugger 7-6. And the Dice Boys are up on Manly, just took half 8-7. Helden on the dump, going straight back to Keys there. Tight defense, going back to Helden. Is looking to the centre of the field, finds Toolett.
AJ playing D now.
AJ playing D. Moz called it.
Yep, hashtag coach for the year.
And there's the around. Sandbridge containing that. He pops it up. He's got Daly at halfway on the far sideline. Bissett getting involved in the play now. He's formed in an acreage. Finds Toolett again. Oh, he fakes the hammer. And there's Foreman again. Dumps back the around. Quickly
break,
trying to contain Daly on the far sideline. No mark, though.
Well, that's what happens when 2 breaks get thrown in a row. Your defender is just so out of position.
Oh, threads the inside to Bissett. Whoa. Gary with a little bit of footwork dancing there. He just toes it in.
That was a high count. That first, from Daly, that first fake to Toolett on the dump was a fake. He did the exact same thing again, a lot more vociferously, and that was a get out of there, Tom. So watch this. So that's like, go. And then that's get out of there, Tom. Oh, well, I'm just going to have to throw the inside break.
And it worked. It definitely worked. I think we've had another timeout here called right now.
Get out. Get out. All right, I'll do it myself.
So another timeout called from Fishwick. We'll take this opportunity to have a quick break and we'll be back in a short minute.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with ULTI.TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
Welcome back for the coming out of the timeout. Interesting message out of the timeout. It was similar to what we were saying a few minutes ago. So David, their coach, said, and again I'll have to paraphrase because some of it was fruity. We know breaks don't come in ones; they come in 2s and 3s and 4s. So he said, just keep fighting to the end. Let's get a break because after that, that's when our energy can lift and we can get 2 or 3.
And speaking of breaks, I think we have some stats here available that we might get up on the screen there, Moz. So Fishwick have had 7 break chances and have capitalised on none. But Ellipsis have had 10 break chances and have capitalised on 4. Interesting, though, the clean holds, relatively even. But it's no surprise that Fishwick have had more turns than the Ellipsis men.
Yeah, I mean, it's the breaks and the break chances. That's the story.
And with that, though, we haven't seen a break since the scoreline was at 3-8. It's been relatively trading since then, so Fishwick just need to get those breaks back now.
I think this will be another one that's coming from the front. Yes, it is. Geez, they're pretty pinpoint because those discs haven't rolled far, but they've rolled out the back, so it must be pretty close. Wind speed, negligible. And Fishwick kind of forgot the disc was checked in, so AJ's going to have to do something on an 8 count, gets it out.
Svardos with the disc now. AJ doing a load of work. Oh!
Nice, Mikey. AJ's off. Mikey's going to stick it.
And he pops it up. He's got 3 deep. And AJ somehow comes up with it. Here he is with Shallard. Looking for an option. Jackson now. Shallard going. And he gets it. That was some nice offense there from Fishwick. They did make Mikey Hatfield work a bit hard on that dump D there, but it was perfectly executed.
Yeah, well, Mikey didn't have a lot of time because AJ was being engaged and Cupcake, Tulip was playing a really aggressive face mark. Usually just throw out into the space, but the handler then elected to go to Mikey, but Mikey had kind of 1 second to do it, so yeah, he did need to bid. But then after that, the flow opened up.
What I loved seeing there was when that big shot from Mikey Hatfield went up, we actually saw 3 Fishwick receivers on the deeper side of that.
Yeah, I didn't love that because I'd flash back. I was like, oh no, they're going to look at each other and this thing's going to hit the deck.
And no one's going to go for it.
That's when you just pack her up and go. That's when you go down to the pub. All right, boys, we're done.
So Andrew Jackson here with 4 assists. 4 of 7. That's a big stat to have to his name right now. He's doing a lot of work on this Fishwick O-line. And as we've seen now recently, he's coming back on the D-line.
Is he on?
No, he's just to our left there.
Sideline starting to ramp up, as you can hear.
Sideline's getting loud. We're nearly hitting the hour mark in this game, so we're getting towards the latter half.
And Thunder have all but dispatched with Chile, 13-5 currently. So Chile, I think there's such a thing as playing your final early. I think their final, that was the quarterfinal.
They peaked a bit early, did they, Moz?
They did. Well, they needed to. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been in that game. As we see, good early showings from Fishwick. Ellipsis needed to retrieve ground.
Yeah, so we've got... Oh! Almost a D there from that shot from Daly to Tula, and Swan working hard to get free, diving on the mark there. Finds Holden. McGuckin now on the far sideline. His D has really clamped down. The intensity of the defense from Fishwick has really changed. Oh, Swan with a laser through the keys. He's got Daly streaming deep, but he's covered. So we see he looks off, and there's Foreman on the around flick. Woo!
Got it done.
Fishwick intensity is definitely lifted, but the question is, Moz, did they do it too late?
Yeah, I mean, we did say early on that the intensity from Ellipsis defensively was grades above what Fishwick brought. and that they were warming into it. But then, you know, the counter argument to that is, well, it's a semi. You can't really warm into a semi. You can warm into your first pool game of the tournament, but semis probably not so much. So, yeah, I mean that. I think you were talking about the stats early on. Like the second half has been so much cleaner and so much more even from both teams.
And that's right.
The start's really the difference.
The second half has definitely been a lot cleaner. We haven't had any breaks since half, interestingly well. So it's been 4 holds each since half, which is great for Fishwick that they've been maintaining those offensive holds. However, because in that first half, Ellipsis got up on so many breaks, they're having to claw back. And that's a dwindling clock now.
Yeah.
And a dwindling timeline to 15.
Big pull. That's a big pull. That's nice.
That's a big pull. Probably won't roll out the back this time. Oh, Copland nearly there.
Great throw, AJ.
Inside to Shallard. Hatfield. Oh, he puts it up. He's got Donnelly deep.
Just needs to stay in.
And he does.
Mikey's had a few nice throws this tournament, even this game. I think in the last stream game, he put an absolute laser flick down the far sideline. So I don't know if he's playing Masters. I think it's just Shellard out of this team, but he'd be handy.
And again, that's another clean hold for Fishwick. As we just said, we haven't had any breaks coming out. So here's that put from Hatfield again. Straight down that sideline, Donnelly just toes it in. That's actually a really hard throw to make, Moz. Just for the reason of it was a backhand down the line. So Hatfield had to pinpoint it in accuracy so that it curled out enough, came back in enough that Donnelly could catch it and it wouldn't have been caught out of field or didn't curve too far back infield for the defender to get a hand to it.
Yes, I agree. There was not a lot of margin for error with that. That was line to line. But he nailed it. Wouldn't call it high percentage, but he nailed it.
And just some comments on the stream that we have Mikey playing Beach Worlds, we believe.
Okay.
There's too many Australian teams going around at the moment, Moz, that people are on.
Yeah, just giving out jerseys to anyone, evidently. That's a crack at me, not Mikey, by the way. Are you playing anything?
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not, unfortunately.
You had your highlights were last week.
My highlights were last weekend, Moz. Thank you for pointing that out.
Silver medal?
Silver medalist at Div 2 Regionals. Pretty happy for a team that didn't do any training.
Nationals, don't sell yourself short.
So, Chulett there.
Just one break. Just need one break. Let's see.
Keys, he's got McGuckin on this sideline.
Great throw.
Sandbridge pressuring that. Oh! Almost getting there. Foreman getting big. Oh, big D there from Blacklock. McGuckin going the around to Chulett.
Foreman's playing a good game.
Foreman's playing a pearler of a game. The mark just bid off on that one, and there's McGuckin.
So this is great vision from Keys because McGuckin had his hand up right over the far sideline, so it's like far away as you can get on the field in terms of where they're attacking. Had his hand up, Keys spots him, saw it, assessed it, went, yep, why not? And threw it at a speed that only Gucker could get it.
So Keys with 6 assists now, Moz. Of the 13 scored for the Ellipsis men so far, 6 of them have come from the John O'Keefe assist.
Oh, you'd have him in your top 3, probably at number 1 in terms of play. But in terms of best on today.
That's a great stat to have.
Other stats, given we are getting questions about the weather. It's getting up to 17 today. Fire danger is moderate. Sun protection is recommended from 10:30 to 2:20. The UV index predicted to reach 4, which is obviously, of course, a moderate. And no wind to speak of.
So John O'Keefe, 6 assists and 1 block, as we did see that huge
that
layout block from him earlier. Yeah, he's hopefully gets a spot in the highlight reel later on. We've had a timeout called, unsurprisingly again, Moz.
Yeah, well, we're entering the final stages of the game. Fishwick would be pretty long odds. Not that we gamble on the sport, especially not with the Integrity Commission tent behind us. But by the figures, we wouldn't be expecting Fishwick to come back. But like we were saying, similar to the quarterfinals, when a team goes out, you get really flat. Now, the difference between going out in a quarter and going out in a semi is you've still got a medal to play for.
That's correct.
So, yes, we know which way this is probably going, barring a miracle, which we're all here for. But how do you keep your momentum up, start the next game like you finished the last, and still take home a bronze?
And speaking of momentum, just giving other updates, we have the Sunday. Go the stats right now on the 9 break opportunities for Fishwick.
That's the one.
And they've utilised none of them. Ellipsis have done 12 of 4, but we've had 5 holds each since half. And just while we have the opportunity, Dice are up 11-8 and Juggernaut are up 8-7 on Sublime. Thank you for those stats, Simon. So going into the latter portion of this game now.
And just confirming for those who were reading between the lines, the other semi-final is done. Chile went down 15-5 to Sunder. So Sunder we've got our first finalist locked in.
Sunder Slice, that is.
Yeah, I just knew I was going to say the wrong one, so I just said Sunder. Sunder Slice are the first finalists. Ellipsis knocking on the door to be the second.
So Young to AJ, he's working hard. Loose mark, trying to make sure he doesn't get those big looks off.
Pick call. Haven't seen too many picks today, actually.
We haven't, which is actually good.
Clean
It
offense.
means the downfield's sorting their shit out.
Yeah, and we see quick play, because we've seen quick points. There's not fatigue. There's not miscommunications.
Keep that momentum and that flow. So Young with the disc on the far side, and he's engaging his dump.
Over his shoulder. Cut break.
Jackson
Cut break.
was asking for that. He's
There
got the
you
break
go.
inside the Hatfield. Oh, Dinkelberg! What a day!
Good stuff, young blood. Haven't seen him take many points, take the field much this game, but you get your shot, you play it. Great day.
Make an impact. The Dutch import there doing some big things. Arcing backhand to Lochnan. He's got a few streaming deep, and he blows the hammer. Who's he got there? He had Lou on the option, but Hatfield got into it. There might be a call of some kind.
Mikey had position there, I think.
I agree with you there, Moz.
So the reason that hammer went up is because AJ poached off. He came in on Timocles, so you'll see here AJ there. He was down there. So Mikey did well. Mikey's only got eyes for the disc, straight up. That is as clean as you like.
That looks like a clean D to me. Still some discussion happening. I think the opinion from Lou is that Hatfield backed into his space, but from what we can see on the stream there, it looks like Hatfield went straight up and it was a bit of a clean D. So its outcome is a contested foul, so that means Lochtan's going to get the disc back, which I think is actually a little bit of a gift to Ellipsis there.
I don't know, and I think because we don't have them all the time, game advisors, obviously just something we can get for the finals and the showcase fields. I don't know if the players are always used to having them, and so they aren't used to then asking them. I don't know if the advisor was consulted there, but I reckon if they had been, there may have been a different outcome.
I think you're right, Moz, but they've sorted it out amongst themselves, and we tend to say, disc karma.
That's it, yeah.
So we'll see what happens here. The disc is with Chu. He's looking for options. That's tough D there from Shallard, and he goes the inside.
Timocles and others just absolutely shredding with that inside flick.
They really are. Back with Timocles here.
Onto the open side.
Andrews around there to
nice
Waylow. Back to Andrews. Copland. Oh. And he went the around to Dinkelberg. Alex Young poached off his player there, came into the lane to try and stop that one. Copland was there first, which opened up Dinkelberg in the backspace for the around flick. So the assist was Copland. So that's, we've now got, we see the game advisors, we're coming out on game point for Ellipsis, and that was a break for Ellipsis, the first break that we've seen this half now. So Ellipsis up 14-8, their first chance at match point here. Not the semi-final we expected to be seeing.
Yeah, look, I think Ellipsis definitely coming in as favourites, but because Fishwick had been so unpredictable with a couple of upsets.
And we just have Moz here trying to get the stats from Mish Phillips on how many clubs she's played for. Dinkelberg here had just got double happiness because as we remember seeing that massive layout block there from him, Moz, in the central portion of the field. And
a good point.
And as you said, if you're only coming on for minimal points, you've got to make your impact.
So if anyone wants to put some guesses in, I've asked Mish how many clubs. She said she's going to need about 15 minutes to count them all up.
And the disc has gone up. There's Sandbridge to Jackson. Unsurprising, is playing this offensive point. Clutch moment. Young looks off fast. A little bit of a junky look here from Ellipsis. Haven't seen this so far this game. Oh, around to Sandbridge in the centre of the field. Beautiful work. There's Svardos. And there's Dane Kluken in the deep space. Fishwick. Clean offensive hold, but is it too late in the game, Mods, that they're bringing out this beautiful offense?
Absolutely it is, Oakley. This is what you needed to start with, and maybe put a couple of breaks in too. But hey, why would you listen to me? Michelle's given an answer on how many women's teams she's played for. Has also played for an open team, being Fishwick. So if you care to put a guess in the chat, we will send you an ULTI.TV prize pack.
So here we have on the replay, we have Sandbridge there to Svardos, who looks and finds Kluken in the deep space. So another opportunity at game point here for Ellipsis. This time they're coming out on offense. And, I mean, the stats don't lie, Moz. Fishwick haven't broken Ellipsis yet, so it looks like Ellipsis should just have this one cleanly in the bag.
I think they are putting on, I mean, they're running quite a short O-line anyway, but it does look like their normal O-line. Although they got Timocles. Was Timocles playing O?
Timocles did play the last O point, I believe. I'm going to have Shallard with the pull.
So up next, hop on over to the other stream. We have the Manly Mavericks versus Ellipsis Asterix. That the other semi. So we see a brick.
First brick of the game.
And if you are trying to get a break and hold on to the game and inject some defensive pressure, the last thing you want is a brick. But anyway. Luke Stark, you're a winner. Mish Phillips has played for 7 women's team, 1 open team, and she could not even start to count the amount of mixed teams. So Luke Stark, take a bow.
Luke Stark dialing in from Queensland there. Cupcake unleashes. He's got McGucking deep, and what a punt!
Cuppa's jacked that from the brick mark and just kept walking. There he is. Mike's got him. He's just going, yep, that's done.
And that's it. Ellipsis just sealed their spot in another Div 1 final.
How's the swag from Cuppas? Do you ever see, there was this golf tournament where Tiger Woods puts a putt, about an 18-foot putt. As soon as he hits it, he walks off and the ball just goes and rolls. He rolls over, shakes the hand of his opponent, and that was a cupcake version of that. Threw it long. Didn't even bother to look whether McGuckin had caught it, but that's representative of just, I guess, how easy Ellipsis have found it today. Really sticking through their primary, as we go to get the stats in a moment, sticking to their primary plays, trusting those primary structures.
So when we look at the stats here, we had Sam McGuckin with 4 goals 1 assist and 1 block in this game. John O'Keefe being another massive stat grab. And on the screen here, Ellipsis taking 5 out of 14 breaks. Fishwick taking none of their break opportunities. Good amount of clean holds each, but Fishwick just turning the disc over more often, which gave Ellipsis those break opportunities, and they absolutely punished them for it.
Yeah, and I think if you're Fishwick, your mindset's got to be there's one game to go. If we get that going, we get to take a bronze medal. And that's the stat that you got to arrest. You go, hey, we got the disc 10 times off these guys. Didn't put it in once. So tomorrow, when playing Chile, when we get the disc back, actually put it in, because some real scholars on the chat, you can't go 0 to 10 on break chances and win. That's correct.
This is correct, yep.
It's not deep, but it's correct.
And so that's it. That's the end of the men's semi-final here on day 3 of Div 1 Nationals. We have a cracker of a game coming up next with the women's semi. I'm Oakley Mullen.
I'm Andrew Moroney.
Thanks for dialing in, and we'll be seeing you soon.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, AUCDI, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
fund
our work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
ULTI.TV